Hi, this is Heather Pickin, and welcome to the Fearless Female Leaders series. I'm really excited. This is all about empowering women stepping up to make 1,000 to 1 million online in any crisis by shifting their mindset. As an expert in human behavior and studying neuroscience for many years, I realized the biggest thing that gets women in their own way from making money is themselves. You'll learn from these leaders, these experts, some mindset strategies and tools and strategies that you need to be successful right now. I'm also giving away some digital copies of my book. So here's how you can enter. This is my latest book, The Dolce Vita Formula, A Woman's Guide to Living a Fearless and Fabulous Life. So here's how you do it. You're watching this on YouTube. All you need to do is subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Put the thumbs up on this video and actually multiple videos throughout this series, and comment below. So there's 3 steps on what you need to do. The comment, you could just say fearless leader. That way I know you want to be entered in the drawing. So make sure you comment on every single video that you're seeing. And I hope you enjoy this series. And last thing, every single expert is giving you a free gift. It's so generous. But you got to make sure you go to fearlessandfabulousvision.com if you didn't already register, because all of the free gifts will be there for you to use and implement and grow your online business. So stay tuned. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another interview for the Fearless Female Leader series. And I just love diving into these topics, talking about mindset, talking about, how to grow your business really from the inside out. That to me is always been my foundational piece and strategy of helping my clients build their 6- and 7-figure businesses. But I have to tell you, we are living in a very interesting time. And I believe that, if you develop yourself as a fearless leader, this is going to be actually an experiencing or actually not an experiencing, but I guess it is experience, but it's going to be an interesting time. I think we can shine instead of shrink. And that's why I've gathered my experts today to kind of have a different perspective to really help you navigate around all of the challenges, especially dealing with a crisis situation. And my next guest is going to be talking about thriving in chaos. Her story is really interesting. She actually moved to China on a one-way ticket to really find her fulfillment, her happiness. And she is, and she calls herself, I was chuckling before we started this, she is an alien life coach / co-pilot whose mission is to partner with professional expat women to unlock their focus and own their vision of happiness. So I want to welcome Pam Morrissey as my expert guest. Pam, how are you doing?
Hi, I am doing great. Thank you, Heather. Yes, I'm an alien life coach. I say that because I'm a life coach, but I specialize in working with women who are expats, who are foreign aliens out here in China and elsewhere abroad, really.
I love that. And I would imagine, yeah, kind of scary moving to a different country, not knowing anyone. I kind of want to hear your story, but, especially starting a business and knowing like, wow, where do I go? What are some of the resources? So I'm just kind of curious, what made you move to China?
Wow. Like, I think a lot of expats, I wasn't super happy with my life at home. I felt like I was playing quite small, a lot smaller than I could have been. I wasn't really living up to my potential, and I just wanted an adventure. So I thought, what better way than to book a one-way ticket and come out here, teach English, and just kind of really rely on myself to get over the chaos that is landing in an expat world,
Wow.
really.
Wow, that's crazy. You know, it's funny because it kind of sounds, I mean, I've never, I lived in Italy for a short period of time, but I remember when I graduated from college, I moved to New York City not knowing anyone. I wanted to pursue a film career at that time, and my parents thought I was crazy. So I'm kind of curious what your parents thought, saying, "You're buying a one-way ticket to China?"
Well, it's funny that you say that because my mother is actually Thai. And when she was in her mid-20s, she also moved to New Zealand, not knowing anybody, completely foreign environment. But for her, I guess it was kind of flipped in that she wasn't huge on speaking English. So she wasn't entirely happy that I decided to kind of undo all of her work by moving to a Western country. But I was determined to move somewhere and just stand on my own 2 feet without the support of everyone and everything that's familiar at home.
Wow, that is so crazy. And I, you know, I find a lot of times women and how we've been raised, like as little girls, we are told to kind of shy away from adventure and you can't risk things. I've always been a risk taker personally. I've failed, I've taken risks. Some of them have definitely paid off. But I'm kind of curious. So you moving over there, one way ticket, you're teaching English. I'm sure that you experienced as you moved over there some of the chaos. So I want to talk about like how you personally navigated around that so that you kind of feel comfortable, and then you've created this business so that you can help other female expats.
So when I decided that teaching wasn't a permanent thing for me, I looked around and I saw like I wasn't the only woman that was not unhappy, that was unhappy, sorry, with her journey. And I wanted to move on and create something bigger, more support, more of a network, more of a connection and a sisterhood amongst the women out here because I feel that there is a lot of chaos and it's definitely isolating to be out here away from everything that's sort of normal. And I wanted to create kind of a container to bring women together and sharing our experiences and sharing our support.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's really interesting is that, you know, you found or just kind of felt this void of like, you know what, I want something different. I want to, you know, go to this different country, live in this different country. My parents are against it. And then you realize getting over there, this is not what I really want to do. I really want to build my own community. So, how, you know, what are some of the steps, you know, like let's just say women are thinking about you know, moving their business to a different country. What are some of the very first steps, you know, especially as a woman? I know for myself, safety is always an issue, even over in the States. So what are some of those first steps that you would recommend?
The first thing that I did was to research. Definitely start with research because I think there's no point in signing up to a specific country if you don't necessarily want to go somewhere that's not a tropical beach, or if you don't want to go somewhere that's not a big city, or yeah, like finding the kind of environment that you feel best in, that you thrive in. That is the first step. The next step to success, I would say, would be taking it one step at a time because there's so much overwhelm when you start doing the research about different opportunities, like job opportunities, or if you're wanting to start a business abroad, like there is so much overwhelm that taking it one step at a time is the only thing you can really do to keep your sanity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So one step at a time, research. I'm kind of curious, why China?
I wanted to be somewhere that would be totally different from home. Um, I wanted to originally go to Thailand because I wanted to go there and find my family, uh, which is a whole other journey and story in itself, I suppose. Um, but yeah, China just seemed like it would be big and it would be different and it would be definitely a challenge.
Hey, you asked for it, you got, you got it. I'm just kind of curious.
Yes.
So, how has living in a different country? I mean, do you speak the language over there? Are you able to communicate? Like, how have you been able to kind of integrate yourself over there, and also maybe deal with some of the chaos and the craziness, the cultural differences over there?
Well, the first three words I learned were cafe, which is coffee, haitan, which is beach, and ni hao, which is hello. And I feel like just getting by on those three things, I could have learned a lot more. But I was so confident that I was just going to figure it out as I went. And I didn't want to put in a whole bunch of study into like learning the formal language the right way and then finding out that I was totally wrong when I got here. So most of what I did was learning kind of like through my community, like what was actually useful to me. Like when I go to the market, I learn about the different vegetables and fruits that I want to buy from my genuine lady in the market. When I go to get my nails done, I learn from the woman who is teaching me in my nail salon, because I feel like as well, like it gives them kind of an interesting experience to get to teach a foreigner something that they wouldn't normally get to teach.
Right. No, exactly. No, I totally agree. When I was living over in Italy, I did learn a lot just kind of being in that environment, studying and learning and interacting with people, especially going to when I was in college. So that's, I had an opportunity to live over there. And it was a culture shock, in some respect. I mean, I can't even imagine what China would be like. But I'm kind of curious, as now, how long have you lived there?
I recently celebrated my 5 year Chiniversary, actually. So it's been 5 years as of February.
So 5 years. So you would say you're kind of you're settling into your environment. My question is, on a daily basis, as you're growing your business, like, do you have different things that you do every single day? Part of the questions I've been asking other women, like, we know that consistency is key. So what are some of your daily success rituals that you do to find your clients? Are most of them online?
It's interesting that you asked that because I find about 50% of my clients online through regularly having conversations on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, through different like social medias. But I also find a lot of my expats in my local community, which I guess is a bit more difficult. Sorry, a bit more difficult right now. But like going out and having the conversations with other expats is critical to my routine and my networking and how I pick up more clients and have more of these conversations.
So basically having two strategies. So first online engagement, and then also through building community, which I really feel women need to do both. You need to do both the outer strategies, no matter what kind of business that you're building. I still feel, even if, you're focusing online, I think offline can create amazing opportunities. You never know who you will connect with and get, whatever kind of nice little deals. I remember working with a client who kind of had a similar situation that you did. He was a teacher. He moved to Taiwan, didn't speak the language. He's like, "Can you help me build a business?" And I said, "If you do what I tell you, you can." And so we really focused on the mindset and being strategic, networking. And within 8 weeks, he landed his first $10,000 corporate deal. So it is possible. You just got to take the action. So let's dive into mindset. What are some of the daily mental practices that you do, especially dealing with what's going on right now in the world with the COVID 19? Like, how are you kind of navigating around that, and what's your mindset?
I I'm not gonna lie, I did struggle for a period of time because we're now on week 9 of lockdown, and it's been quite a while. But I've been journaling every day, and like even before the start of the lockdown, I was journaling every day because I find that it really helps to ground me and keep me centered in the kind of mindset that I want to have to continue to inspire, to continue to lead other women and other people in business, because I feel that right now there's a lot of scarcity and panic, and there's definitely a lot of media sensationalism, as we were talking about earlier. Uh, it's not entirely the same. The media reports that I read from in China as the ones that I read from outside of China. And I think it's easy to get overwhelmed as well, looking at a lot of that stuff when it's kind of different as well, depending on which part of China you're even in. So
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. Yeah, I like that you said you journal. I do that every single day. It just gives me some sanity. And I remember when this first started happening. I have to be honest. It was, this is going to sound like very vain, but I'm like, I can't go to my gym. My gym is my life. I was like, I was in my little freak out moment, but I'm like, okay, let's look at the bigger picture. You've got your health, you're safe, there's nothing that you can do. All my projects I had that I was
Mm.
working on outside, those were put on hold. I was kind of bummed out. And I feel, and I'm just kind of curious with your perspective, I kind of feel like we're having this kind of spiritual shift on this planet, and we are all forced to be 100% present. We are forced to connect with each other even more. I feel we've been so distracted and caught up in the busyness, but I think it's forcing us to look at a different lens. So I'm kind of curious, like what's your bigger take on the bigger meaning of this?
I think that it's definitely an opportunity for us all to ground ourselves and be really present in the moment, because I think so many people waste so much time just mindlessly scrolling through social media, when that is definitely time that you could be investing in other ways, trying to grow your business, trying to grow yourself, even just learning a new language or a new hobby or a new skill. Like, I think it's very easy to get caught up in the social media aspect and the attention grabbing clickbait media. And this really is an opportunity to do something better with your time, to make something more, I guess, and
I
connect.
love it.
Definitely to connect. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no excuse. So everyone that says, "Oh, I want to write that book or launch that course or do whatever," now is the time to freaking do it. You're the universe is giving you that opportunity to just take action and skill up. So I'm using my time. So I really encourage everyone to do that. And the last thing that you mentioned is about the media. Protect yourself from the media. Don't be clicking on the links. I think Facebook is probably the worst. I just don't watch the news. I know exactly what's going on. So you definitely have to protect your mind. So Pam, before we go, I know you have everyone is offering a gift, and we'll put the link below. So wherever you're watching this video, make sure that you click on that expert link. It'll take you to a page. So if you could tell people what that is.
Sure. So I've created the Transition Transmission, which is kind of my little expat newsletter. It's for women in business, so it's quite focused right now on what's really going on, what strategies and tips that I'm using to make myself better in business. And it's just got some handy hints that I think would be useful for the audience.
Excellent. Well, Pam, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me, Heather.
My pleasure. And as always, I encourage people to connect with the other experts, download their gifts, and take action. Take action on your inspired vision. Until next time, this is Heather Pickin, and live fearlessly. Well, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Make sure if you want to be in the drawing to win one of my, or actually a copy of my latest book in digital form, do 3 things. Subscribe to this channel, thumbs up, and comment below, Fearless Leader. I hope you enjoyed this interview, and I'll talk to you soon.